ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषाय शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जयो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Is my voice okay now?
Yes, Mataji.
Some audio problem. Sorry for that. Okay, so I was telling that we completed Nectar of Instruction in the first book. Then we completed the Ishopanishad second book, and from today we are going to start with the third book, and that is Nectar of Devotion. So today we'll be going through Preface, Introduction, and from next week we'll start the chapter 1. So Preface and Introduction itself has so many pages in Nectar of Devotion book if you read. So this Nectar of Devotion, let's understand what is this Nectar of Devotion and who wrote it, for whom, and why do we have to study Nectar of Devotion, why not other, and who wrote this Nectar of Devotion? That's Srila Rupa Goswami. We also heard about Srila Rupa Goswami in which book? Which book he wrote again?
Upadeshamrita.
Yes, he gave the Upadeshamrita. To whom he gave that Upadesh?
Jiva Goswami.
Yes, Jiva Goswami. Very good. Jiva Goswami. Right? The instructions given by Rupa Goswami to Jiva Goswami, that book was Nectar of Instruction. And this Nectar of Devotion, let's see what is this Nectar of Devotion and by whom it came. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In Sanskrit, it's called as Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and in English, Prabhupada translated that book to Nectar of Devotion. Before that, let's just pray to the Shad Goswamis of Vrindavana, because of their mercy, we are today understanding about all the devotional service, and also we came to know about so many pastimes of Radha Krishna Leelas. Because of them, we came to know about so many things about Lord Shri Krishna and Srimati Radharani. So this is Shad Goswami Ashtakam. The author is Srinivasacharya, who is also Acharya in our parampara. He wrote this Shad Goswami Ashtakam with the praying mood to the 6 Goswamis. Who are the 6 Goswamis? Anybody can tell? Who are the 6 Goswamis? Remember?
Raghunatha Bhattacharya.
Okay.
Goswami.
Anybody? One person. Neha Mataji, you want to tell? Okay. Kirti Mataji. Yes, Kirti Mataji.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Gopal Bhatt Goswami, and there's one more. Raghunath
Das. Yes, very good. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, there are 2 Raghunathas. One is Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, another one is Raghunatha Dasa Goswami. So all these 6 Goswamis who reveal the pastimes of Vrindavana under the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So let's pray to them that we may understand the even a small amount of Nectar of Devotion, that we can understand and take it into our life and we start doing devotional service, at least from by understanding these concepts. Krishna Kirtana Gana Natana Parau Premamritam Nidhi Dhira Dhira Jana Priyo Priyakaro Nirmatsaro Pujito Shri Chaitanya Kripa Bharo Bhuvi Bhuvo Bharavahantarako Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Nana Shastra Vicharanayika Nipunau Sadharma Sanstapakau Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakaro Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Nande Mattaliko Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugho Shri Jiva Gopalako Shri Gauranga Gunanuvarana Vidho Shraddha Samridhyanvito Papotapani Kritanau Tanubhritam Govinda Ganamritai Anandambudivardane Kanipunau Kaivalya Nishtarakau Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau Tyaktva Turnamashesha Mandalapati Shrenim Sada Tuchavata Bhutva Dina Ganesha Karunaya Kaupina Kantashritau Gopi Bhavarasamrita Bilahari Kalola Magnau Muhur Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau Ujat Kokila Hamsa Sarasa Gana Kine Mayurakule Nana Nibhatta Mula Vitapa Shri Yukta Vrindavane Radha Krishna Maharani Shama Prabhajato Jivartadau Yaumudha Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau Sankhya Purvaka Namagananatibihi Kalavasani Kritau Nidrahara Viharakadi Vijitau Chatyantadinau Chayau Radha Krishna Gunasmrite Madhurima Nandena Sammohitau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau Radha Kundatate Kalindatanaya Tire Chavam Shivate Premo Madava Sadaveshesha Dasaya Grastau Pramatau Sada Gayantu Chakada Hare Gunavaram Bhava Vibhutau Muda Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau He राधे व्रज देवी के चललिते हे नंद सुनो पुता श्री गोवर्धन पादापतले कालिंदी वने कुता गोशन्तवेति सर्वतो व्रजपुरे केदे महाविह्वलौ वन्दे सनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीवगोपालकौ वन्दे रूपसनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीवगोपालकौ. Hare Krishna. Can anybody volunteer to read the translation? Shreya Yadav Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I offer my respectful obeisances to six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Dasa Goswami, Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are always engaged in chanting the holy name of Krishna and dancing. They are just like the ocean of love of God, and they are popular both with the gentle and with the ruffians because they are not envious of anyone. Whatever they do, they are all pleasing to everyone, and they are fully blessed by Lord Chaitanya. Thus, they are engaged in missionary activities meant to deliver all the conditional soul in the material universe. I offer my respectful
Here, from here you can read, Mataji.
who are well versed in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of gopis and are engaged in transcendental loving service of Radha Krishna. Who are very much enriched in understanding of Lord Chaitanya and who are thus expert in narrating his transcendental qualities. They are purifying all conditional souls from the reactions of their sinful activities by pouring upon them transcendental songs about Govinda. As such, they are very skillful in increasing the limits of ocean of transcendental bliss, and they are saviors of the living entities from the devouring mouth of liberation, who, who kicked off all association of aristocracy as insignificant in order to deliver the poor conditional souls. They accepted loin, loin clothes, treating themselves as Americans, but they are always merged in aesthetic ocean of gopis' love for Krishna and bathe always the repeatedly in waves of the ocean.
Yes, thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Anybody? Hare Krishna. Anybody else want to read? Lakshmi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the six Goswami, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Dasa Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who were always engaged in worshipping Radha Krishna in the transcendental land of Vrindavan, where there are beautiful trees full of fruits and flowers, which have under their roots all valuable jewels. The Goswamis are perfectly competent to bestow upon the living entities the greatest boon of the goal of life. I offer my respectful
From here
obeisance.
you can read, Mataji. Who were engaged.
Yes, Mata. Who were engaged in chanting. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who were engaged in chanting the holy name of the Lord and bowing down in a scheduled measurement. In this way, they utilize their valuable lives and in executing these devotional activities, They conquered over eating and sleeping and were always meek and humble, enchanted by remembering the transcendental qualities of the Lord. I offer my respectful
From here
obedience
you can read, Mataji,
who were sometimes onto the banks of Radhakunda Lake or the shores of the Yamuna and sometimes at Vamishvata. There they appeared just like madmen in the full ecstasy of love for Krishna, exhibiting different transcendental systems in their bodies, and they were merged in the ecstasy of Krishna consciousness, who were always chanting very loudly everywhere in Vrindavan, shouting, Queen of Vrindavan, Radharani, O Lalita, O son of Nanda Maharaj, where are you all now? Are you just on the hill of Govardhan? Or are you under the tree on the banks of the Yamuna? Where are you? These were their moods in executing Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. Yes. So, this was Shad Goswami Ashtakam. Their glories, all the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, the glories of them. And Prabhupada, if you see the preface and introduction of Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada mentions this, the second stanza of Shad Goswami Ashtakam, where it is said that who are expert in scrutinizingly study all revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principle. The eternal religious principle is the devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they have revealed all such scriptures, and one of them is Nectar of Devotion. Okay. So because of this one stanza, we read the whole Shad Goswami Ashtakam, and on the I think so on the appearance day of Rupa Goswami, we sang the Shad Goswami Ashtakam. Is my voice echoing now?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Proper, right? Yes. So I'll just share the screen now. So we are going to study about Nectar of Devotion today, the introduction part of Nectar of Devotion. So Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the Sanskrit word or the book actually written or actually compiled by Srila Rupa Goswami is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and Srila Prabhupada, he wrote this book. You can't find even a single Sanskrit verse in Nectar of Devotion book because he directly translated it to English for our convenience. If you want the Sanskrit verses of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, there is Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu available. You can purchase it any ISKCON temples. So there is Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu particular book, and out of that Prabhupada only gave the English translation of it, and just to make us easy to understand the Nectar of Devotion. It made the book very easy for us. Anybody can read it anytime because it's just very easy to understand by your understand Nectar of Devotion, the book. Is my voice breaking? Anusha Mataji, how is it? The connection?
Breaking in the middle, Mataji.
My voice is breaking?
Yes, Mataji, little.
Okay. So let's pay obeisances to Sri Sri Radha Govinda. And here, let's start our, we'll see some of the pointers, how we can understand. This is a chart made, and what is contained in the preface of Nectar of Devotion. Let's see. So first is the history of Rupa Goswami. So many of them, they already know when they learned Nectar of Instruction book. We read about Rupa Goswami, we understood about who is Rupa Goswami. Still more deep, let's understand who is Rupa Goswami. what is the history of Rupa Goswami, who was he before calling him Rupa Goswami, who was he? Let's understand this. In the preface, Prabhupada has already written about Rupa Goswami. In the introduction part also he has written about Rupa Goswami. So they were two brothers, Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Right? What were the title given to them by the Mughal emperor? What was the title? Anybody remembers? Raise your hands or write in the chat. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
What were the title given to Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami? Yes, Dabir Kas and Sakar Malik. Very good. Yeah, so Dabir Kas was Rupa Goswami and Sakar Malik was Sanatana Goswami. Before they were called Goswamis, they were working under a Mughal emperor because they were highly scholared. They knew various languages like Arabic, Persian, so many other languages, and they were very much scholared in Sanskrit. Because of this, the Mughal emperor, he wanted them, and he gave the very big titles of that time. That was almost like a prime minister, general in chief, such kind of a title now. Before they were called as Sakar Malik and Dabir Kas at that time. So so they were and what is the Rupa Goswami's position in it? So after, while they were in Ramakeli, they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, you will get a brief, very nice explanation on how they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Ramakeli the first time, and they decided to join the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's the Nam Sankirtan and Krishna consciousness. They decided that they will leave all kind of activities and they'll just join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. And they tried to escape from the Mughal emperor, and Dabir Kas, that's the Rupa Goswami, he escaped. He took retirement from his job and he escaped from the town and went to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And at the same time, the Sanatana Goswami, he also wanted to escape, but then the king was very much agitated by these their activities, that he put Sanatana Goswami into imprisonment. And somehow or the other, to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sanatana Goswami escaped from the jail, and somehow he made up a story that he was dead, and somehow he came out of the jail. And Rupa Goswami also was very wealthy person, very much wealthy. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that the wealth of Rupa Goswami during his when he was a prime minister was almost one big boat carries millions of thousands of gold coins. That much of wealth he had, and he divided his wealth into 3 parts. That was first one, 50% for the sadhus or the Vaishnavas. Again, 25% of that to to his relatives who expect from him some amount of money, so he gave it to them, and 25% of his wealth he kept for his emergency. So in this way he divided his wealth, and Rupa Goswami left everything and he went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In the same way, Sanatana Goswami escaped from the jail and he went to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and both of them met. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the instructions to Rupa Goswami continuously for 10 days. So let's understand what instructions he gave to Rupa Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the further slides. And such an exalted position as Rupa Goswami, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meets Rupa Goswami, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it very nicely, very beautifully describes their meet and how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Rupa Goswami for continuously for 10 days, and how the nectar of devotion came, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it came out. And among 6 Goswamis, Rupa Goswami is the chief, or we can tell the elder is Sanatan Goswami, but then Rupa Goswami is elder to all the other Goswamis in the position of uh, exalted devotees. So because Rupa Goswami is none other than Rupa Manjari in spiritual world, they are already the eternal associates of Lord Shri Krishna and Srimati Radharani. So they already knew some of the pastimes. They knew all the pastimes of Radha Krishna, and they were very exalted devotees. And the Manjaris actually came to assist Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he came as Gauranga. So they wanted to assist Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, assist Radha Krishna when they come in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So how they are connected to Lord Krishna, and one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. So history of NOD, that's Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. I said that Rupa Goswami, he was instructed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 10 days continuously, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says the nectar of devotion, that's the ocean of devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. The Sindhu means the ocean. So devotional service is very, very difficult to understand. It's very huge, very big. And the 10 days instruction, it's like a drop of nectar of devotion. It's just a drop, and it contains so many chapters that we read in this book. And it's just a drop of what actually the devotional service is. And nectar of devotion, nectar, that's the amrita and of devotion. Bhakti rasa, the rasa, amrita, that's the nectar of devotion. That's why this book is called Nectar of Devotion. Bhakti rasamrita Sindhu. Sindhu means the ocean of nectar of devotion. So we are going to read only the drop, and even this book, what we read, the drop, it's very simplified by Sri Prabhupada, very much simplified, because we are very far from nectar of the devotional service, that we can't understand the intensity, the topmost glories of devotional service. That's why Prabhupada gave us in a very like a spoon feeding. He gave us very, very nicely, with a very simple words. He started explaining the nectar of devotion. If you see this Sanskrit version that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Rupa Goswami is very high level. So Prabhupada, he gave us in a very small and simplified way that we can understand by ourselves. Anybody who read Bhagavad Gita can understand this book very easily. That's why we first read Bhagavad Gita, the nectar of instruction, then we read about Ishopanishad, and then we are coming to nectar of devotion. It's very difficult, but then Prabhupada simplified it for us. So we are called Rupanugas. Why is it? Because our spiritual masters, they follow Rupa Goswami's instruction. Because we are following Rupa Goswami's instruction, we are called Rupanugas. Anugas, that means we are followers of Rupa Goswami. Parampara from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami, then to Srila Prabhupada. We are actually following Rupa Goswamis. There are Goswamis in Vrindavan, I said, right? So each Goswami have their own succession later on, and that's Srila Prabhupada comes in the Rupa Goswami succession. So we are called Rupanugas. So what are the 6 purposes of nectar of devotion? There are 6 purposes. Let's understand what are the 6 purposes of nectar of devotion to make each of us Goswamis. What is Goswami mean? We all already read, no? Goswami.
Goswami means the controller of senses.
Yes. And any shloka you remember from nectar of instruction? Describing this nectar of instruction. We read, right? What are the 6 urges? Yes. Somebody else want to answer? Only Shreya Mataji is answering. Somebody else want to answer? Yes, Mataji.
The urge to speech, vacho vegam, and urge for anger, controlling of mind, and urge of palatable things, and urge of genitals, and urge of stomach.
Yes, Mataji. Vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jivha vegam, udara basta vegam. Right? These 6 urges are to be controlled, and yes, even in the chat, many of them have written very nice. So this nectar of devotion to make us, each of us, Goswamis. It's a very big term, Goswamis, because we all are Godasas, because we cannot control our senses, right? That's why this book will help us to understand how we can control our senses by doing devotional service, not artificially controlling them, but by doing devotional service, by putting our senses into the devotional service. To explain Bhakti Rasa and material Rasa, right? Even in this material world, we all want Rasa. That's why we are doing so many activities, right? That's why person is going out for a job. He has so many activities with his family, so many of his loved ones or outside people. And why? Because there is some kind of rasa. But then this rasa, the material rasa, is temporary. But the bhakti rasa is the topmost and eternal rasa. Right? So practical hint to live in the material world by doing devotional service. Many of them say that in this material world you can't do devotional service or it's very difficult. So this book gives us the practical hint how we can do devotional service being in this material world. Right? That's why we understand even in Bhagavad Gita how this material world is there. So that in this material world we can do devotional service and go back to Krishna. Stimulate original love in 5 different rasas. What are the 5 different rasas? Yes, Rajalakshmi P. and Mataji.
Shanti Rasa. Shanti Rasa. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Dasi.
Yeah.
Shanti Rasa. Dasi Sautya.
Okay. Anybody else want to say? Yes, Kirti Mataji. You want to try?
Santa Russia, Dasa Russia, Sakya, Madhurya, and Vatsalya.
Vatsalya and Madhurya. Thank you, Mataji. Yes. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, same thing
Ani-
as what Kiti Mataji said.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so these are the 5 rasas, original love in different rasas, original love for Lord Shri Krishna. So these are the 5 rasas, and we are going to understand about these 5 rasas in this book. Science of perfectly loving all living entities, right? All loving, loving all living entities. And then what is the 6th one? That's the nurture devotional service by nurture devotional service of practicing devotees. So again, here the introduction of Srila Rupa Goswami little further. So he was born in 1489 in Brahmin Saraswat family, and he was the chief secretary. So he was the chief secretary of Nawab Hussain Shah. And he first met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Ramakeli, and he decided that he wanted to join the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And second meeting was in Prayag Ghat, where he was instructed continuously for 10 days. And in this way, nectar of devotion, as the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, came to us. In Prayagraj, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Rupa Goswami for continuous for 10 days. Known as Rasacharya, because he revealed the rasas of Radha Krishna Leela, the topmost rasa, Madhurya Rasa, he revealed in his literature, in his books. That's why he's called as Rasacharya. And deity, he found the one of the deity, that's the Govindaji. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent all the 6 Goswamis to Vrindavan and gave them the mission to find out the pastime places of Radha Krishna or Lord Shri Krishna's pastime, because all these places were filled with so many unwanted things, or they were all covered. Okay, they were all covered because 5,000 years were not maintained by any of the kings, because there was Mughal rule. Before that, they were all atheistic people, or we can tell Mayavadi people. They were coming to Vrindavan. Nobody maintained the deities. Nobody came to the pastime places. Nobody went to Radha Kund. Nobody went to any of the places. So all the pastime places of Shri Radha Krishna were covered, and because of that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavana to find out the pastime places. Because they were all manjaris of Lord Krishna, Srimati Radharani, they knew the places. Ordinary person cannot find out the pastime, the transcendental pastimes, places of Lord Shri Krishna. Only the empowered acharyas are already associated, because they are empowered by Krishna, and they are already the eternal servitor of Lord Shri Krishna in as manjaris or the gopis. They could easily find out the places of the pastimes. They started finding. Today, what we are seeing Vrindavan is actually their contribution, because all places were covered. Because they were covered, we cannot see. But by the grace of all 6 Goswamis, by the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he instructed all the 6 Goswamis. They revealed us about the places of pastimes. Today, we go to Vrindavan, we see all the places because of the contributions of Goswamis. Because they revealed to us, because of that, we can see the places today. So, he founded the deity called Govindaji. And it was initially in Vrindavan, but after the Mughal war, Goswamis took it to Jaipur. So today, the original deity of Govindji is in Jaipur, which was taken by Rupa Goswami. It's in Jaipur today. But then there is temple of Govindji in Vrindavan today also. But there is replica of the deity. Original deity is in Jaipur. So the Govindji, and yes. So, he founded this Govindji. There is a huge story of it because he founded this in a. So there is a story of how he found this Govindji. We can discuss it some other day, and the work, whatever he has done, because it's already time. Before 9:30 we had to close it, right? So work, what he read. So what we has already read is Upadeshamrita. There is Vigada Madhava and Lalita Madhava and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So Vigada Madhava and Lalita Madhava are the pastimes written by Rupa Goswami of Sri Radha Krishna. The pastimes he revealed to us. So when we say revealed scripture, what is this revealed scripture? By the grace of Acharyas and Guru and Krishna, the scriptures are revealed to us. There are hundreds of scriptures. There are hundreds of books, but all books we read, but then we can't understand it. By the grace of Krishna, by the grace of Acharyas, we understand the scriptures. Because of that, we tell it revealed scriptures, and all these scriptures are by the mercy of Goswamis are getting revealed to us. So we should pray to all these 6 Goswamis of Vrindavana. And there is Rupa Goswami Samadhi in Radha Damodar temple, and Prabhupada, he stayed for 10 years in Radha Damodar temple in a very, very small place. We went there. It was not even a big place. It just one person can stay in that place, and he used to stay there, and he used to constantly pray to Rupa Goswami to give him his mercy. And there Prabhupada wrote this Nectar of Devotion. And when Nectar of Devotion was such a great book that when Prabhupada got his disciples to Vrindavan, he stayed in Radha Damodar temple near Rupa Goswami Samadhi, and he continuously made lectures on Nectar of Devotion. And Prabhupada never specially instructed anybody to record his audios or record his videos, but for this Nectar of Devotion lecture he gave in Vrindavan during 1970, he made his disciples to video record the Nectar of Devotion lectures. So if you go on Google, you can actually see the Nectar of Devotion lecture by Srila Prabhupada. So because it's very much important for a devotee who want to advance in spiritual life. So Nectar of Devotion is a very good boon to all the devotees who want to advance in devotional service. So that is the importance of Nectar of Devotion. So it's very difficult to understand at the same time. At the same time, it's very easy to understand because Prabhupada made it very easy. If you can't understand it here, there is video recordings of Prabhupada giving lecture on Nectar of Devotion. There is so many people who can tell about Nectar of Devotion, but then we should be in a submissive mood to hear about Nectar of Devotion. It's not very easy also. So here, who wrote this Nectar of Devotion was Rupa Goswami. So that we always tell this shloka as a prayer to Rupa Goswami, that Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. When will Shri Rupa Goswami, who established the mission to fulfill the heart desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? So this is the prayer to Rupa Goswami. We must pray before reading Nectar of Devotion, because by his mercy we can understand Nectar of Devotion very easily. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught Sri Rupa Goswami the ultimate limit of the truth about Lord Krishna, the truth about devotional service, and the truth about the transcendental mellow. Krishna Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, and Rasa Tattva. So this book contains all these three things in this Nectar of Devotion. By entering the heart of Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowered him to ascertain properly the conclusion of all truth. He made him an experienced devotee whose decision correctly agreed by the verdict of the disciplic succession. Thus, Rupa Goswami was personally empowered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here, one thing we can understand that is just by reading books, just by knowing theoretical knowledge, we cannot advance in a spiritual life. We cannot advance in spiritual just by bahating some shlokas, just by knowing theoretical knowledge. To make it practical, we should be empowered by the Lord or by the Acharyas or by Srila Prabhupada. Right? That is mercy. That's what we pray. We know so many shlokas, we know so many knowledge, but then why do we pray to Lord Krishna? What do we pray? That whatever I have learned theoretically, let it be manifested in my heart, and I do it practically. Devotional service. We know devotional service is a great thing. We know chanting the holy name is a very good thing, and we have to chant every day. We have to do devotional service, but then practically doing it with so much intense love for Krishna is very difficult, and that's what we should actually ask from Guru and Gauranga. That's what, after understanding for 10 days of Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whatever you have instructed, let it manifest in my heart. Because just by knowing the theoretical knowledge, it's not easy to advance in spiritual life. We have to practically do it, because just by knowing, we cannot actually advance. So how we can do? By the mercy of Guru and Gauranga, by mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we can actually do it. There are people who have big Sanskrit degrees, but then they don't have devotional service towards Lord. Even though they have little bit, but then they are not advancing in spiritual life. They are not having more love for Krishna, because there is no mercy coming to it. There is no realization coming. So when he is empowered, this word empowered him to ascertain properly conclusion of all truth. We know Krishna is absolute truth, but then how many of us really realize it? Very little member. That's only for exalted devotees. They can realize it. But we have to ask mercy from Prabhupada, mercy from Guru and Gauranga. So here, Rupa Goswami was personally empowered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because already he is the Manjari of Lord Shri Krishna, but then he is personally empowered when he came as Rupa Goswami by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So to explain Bhakti Rasa and Material Rasa, we spoke about Bhakti Rasa and Material Rasa. This book is about Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Right? Then what is this Material Rasa? That is, one side we have Bhakti, which connotes devotional love, implies service. Right? When we say Bhakti, that means the devotional service. Why do we say devotion? Why don't we say just devotion? Why do we say devotional service? Because we have to practically serve. Right? We are serving Lord. Because we are servant of the Lord, we have to serve the Lord, which refers to activities intended to please beloved. Right? We all want to please somebody this world. If nobody gets, we at least have our pets to be loved. Right? Why do people nowadays keep pets? They live alone in the flat, but then they have cats and dogs in their home. Why? Because they want to serve somebody, they want to love somebody. Because we are eternal servitors of Lord, we want to serve. But then whom to serve? Because we are not directed towards the Lord, we don't know who is Lord Krishna, we serve somebody else in this material world, and we try to get love from them. But then everything is lust in this world. So primary stage, family to society to humanity. Primary stage, many of the people say self-respect. What is it? Just self-love, self-ego. They want to satisfy their own ego. Then comes my family, then comes my nationality, my society, human life, and so many people. They are behind all this. They want to serve these people. It's a basic propensity. We can't live without it. Right? We can't live without doing service. We all want to do service, but gets fulfillment when connected to Krishna. But ultimately, when the part and parcel is serving the whole, it becomes complete. Right? In each Upanishad, we understood about this. So here, the analogy in the preface Prabhupada gives about watering the root. Right? One switch that brightens. When we are watering into the root, we now are in this material world, are watering to the leaves, stems, branches of the tree. But then eternally, because the root should be alive, the love for Krishna should be alive, then automatically everything we can love. That's why people love those who are devotees, right? In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says devotees love everyone, and everyone loves the devotees. Why? Because they are watering the root, that is Lord Krishna. When Lord Krishna is satisfied, then each and every part of the world is also satisfied. So, bhakti next is about rasa. What is this rasa? Is the juice or mellow, right? This rasa is like Prabhu always gives this example that when we eat a rasgulla or gulab jamun, after eating there is somewhat sweetness in our mouth, right? After completely eating it, there is some sweetness. Because of that sweetness, we want another one. Because of that sweetness, right? So that sweetness is the mellow. So the rasa or the mellow in serving the Lord is completely different from the mellow in this material world. So mundane rasa and bhakti rasa, there are two different things, right? In this world also we are serving. After serving, we get somewhat pleasure in this material world also. That is also rasa, but then that is temporary rasa or mundane rasa. False, right? Chapala sukha. What is that? In Bajahure Mana, the song, in that also it is said about Chapala sukha. Chapala sukha labal agire. Bajahure Mana, Srinandana. In this material world, we are trying to please so many people. We are trying to please so many people. Bipale Sevinu, Kripana Durajana. We are trying to serve Kripanas and Durajanas in this material world. Miserly people, we are trying to serve. And because of that, we get happiness. But then what kind of a happiness is it? Chapala sukha. That means flickering happiness. Chapala sukha labal agire. Right? So here, about mundane rasa and bhoga tyaga. That means we take that bhoga, or we try to get sense gratification, and at the same time, after some time we don't want that. So bhoga tyaga, every time the sense gratification is like that. We want and we don't want after sometimes. But then what about bhakti? It's fresh. Every day it's fresh. Right? When we are chanting, right? Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Today I am chanting. Tomorrow always it said we should not be satisfied by our chanting or devotional service. Why? When we are not satisfied with our chanting or devotional service, we chant more in more intense love for Krishna, more intense love for Krishna. We do devotional service more. We should never be satisfied by our chanting. Why? It gets freshened day by day. When you get up morning, how freshness we get, right? In the morning, you take a bath and come out in the balcony, dress up and come out in the balcony. How fresh you will feel in the morning, 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. That's freshness that we get from bhakti. Every day, it's new. Every day, devotees have some new realizations. right? Prabhupada used to read his own books and he used to get his new realization every day, because bhakti is eternal. Even in Goloka, the devotional service, the rasa which they are in, it keeps on increasing. It keeps on increasing. Goloka always expands, because the bhakti is always fresh and eternal, never dies. Like Bhoga Tyaga, it never dies. It's eternal. So we learned about bhakti, rasa, and now amrita. What is amrita? That's eternal, right? Something that's permanent, or there is no death for it, right? That's amrita. So it's fresh and eternal. We may and that is Sindhu. What is Sindhu? Ocean. Sindhu means ocean. But what kind of ocean? Ocean of pleasure. We may manage to procure a few drops of sense pleasure, but there is an entire ocean of nectar of devotion, easily available to all. Always, by understanding nectar of devotion, we can dive deeply into that ocean. So, in this chapala sukha, right, flickering happiness, or this mundane rasa, is only very minute, right? It is like chewed again and again. We are chewing the same thing. So it's very same thing again and again we are trying to do. But then how is nectar of devotion? It's fresh, it's new every day, and eternal. And by understanding nectar of devotion, by understanding this how we do devotional service, we can dive into deeply that ocean, into that ocean. So we understood about bhakti. Rasa is force of pleasure that drives people to do service. Rasa is a mellow coming from relationship. Bhakti rasa is different, transcendental, eternal, and perfect. So what is mundane rasa? No endurance. Always need to shift of situation. Right? Person works from morning to night, but then he wants to change his rasa. That means he wants to change his activities. Right? How we get rasa? By doing activities. He's fed up of his activity, right? We work morning 9 to evening 5 o'clock, and we are fed up. We want something new rasa. And because of that new rasa, we work something else. We come night, we do somewhat other sense gratification. That's always shifting of all situations happens, right? We work Monday to Friday, and then we are fed up of it. We want to shift, and Sunday we go for something else. That's a weekend, right? Why do we want to go? Because we want to shift. And to do shifting of rasa, we have to we serve something. That's mundane serving, and because of that, there is bhoga tyaga. Change due to our constitutional position, sense gratification, but chapala sukha. Bhakti rasa is amrita, deathless, permanent, next body, daiva, desire, karma, and mercy. By mercy of Krishna, we continue as humans. So one thing is sure, that after our death, we will be human, because we are chanting the holy name of the Lord. To chant, we should only a human can do. Chanting the holy name of the Lord, only a human can do. So this is for sure, by the mercy of Lord Krishna, we will be humans next life to continue our devotional service. So desire, karma, and mercy of the Lord should be there. So the basic principle is that we have a general propensity to love someone, right? Is there anybody who say, I don't love anybody, I don't love anyone? No, everybody love. At least themselves they love. That's the self-ego, we call it self-respect, self-love, something we call. But then somebody wants to love, right? The missing point, however, is The missing point, however, is where to respond our love so that everyone can become happy. Right? So this is said here. So missing point is Krishna. The missing point is Krishna. The missing point is, so the nectar of devotion teaches us to stimulate our original love for Krishna and enjoy blissful life. So broadness of love. So first comes is I myself, then my parents, family, society, community, country, nation, humanity. Loving propensity remains imperfectly fulfilled until we know the supreme beloved Krishna. Right? So many wars are happening between countries itself. Why? Because there is no actual love for anybody. Humanity, what kind of a humanity? And we just love humans, and so many wars are happening. So many artificial love is shown in this material world. Artificial love, because original love is only for Krishna. So whatever love we are showing, that because we want something from them, that's actually the lust. So love for parents, love for family, that's completely mundane, because after we die, there is nothing of this can be that can give. Right? The pastimes of Gajendra, right? When he was about to die, he saw everybody. He saw his family, he saw his countrymen, that's wherever he was staying. He saw his other elephants community, right? He saw his he was a king of elephants. He saw his all other fellow elephants. Nobody came to help him at the time of death. Nobody can help us. Nobody can help us, because all are in this material world and all are conditioned in this material world. So actual love is for Krishna, but we are forgetting that love. Because we are forgetting that love, we are searching for love in this material world. Because we don't know who we should actually love for, who is our Suridam Sarva Bhutana. We don't know that. Because of that, we are actually suffering in this world. Right? Krishna says, Mamai Vamsham, my own people, but then they are Karshati, they are struggling in this material world because they have forgotten, they are forgetting Lord Shri Krishna. Loving every living entity by loving Krishna, peace and harmony. Right? The peace formula. Who will say the peace formula in Bhagavad Gita? What are the three things? Nidhi Mataji, you want to try? Anybody else? What is the peace formula?
Hare Krishna Mataji, the peace formula is only one. मतलब कि water the root. Focus entirely on Krishna. When the root is satisfied, the leaves, petals, everything else will be satisfied, and you will get everlasting peace and everlasting bliss. To focus only on Krishna, and whatever thought, word, action you do it as a service to the Lord, and render fruit of the service
In
also to
Bhagavad
the Lord.
Gita, which is that shloka which discusses about the peace formula.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. May I?
Yes.
There are three things which are mentioned. First is a state of desirelessness. Second is complete elimination of self for sense gratification. And third is focus on the self or self-realization.
No, there is a peace formula.
That gives complete happiness. That is.
Yes, Mataji, it is 5.29. Bhoktaram Yagnatap. Can I say that,
Yes,
Mataji?
yeah.
Bhoktaram
Yeah.
yagne tapsam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam yagnan mam shantim rachati. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Mataji. Bhoktaram Yagnatapasam. Bhoktaram. Krishna says, I am the Bhokta. I am the Bhokta. I should be served. Krishna says, he is to be served. He is the Bhokta. Bhoktaram Yagnatapasam Sarvalokameshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam, the well-wisher. He is to be loved. Krishna is to be loved, but we are missing that point. And that's the peace formula. Everybody wants peace in this world, but then they have forgotten whom they have to be served. Because of that, they are suffering in this material world. And this nectar of devotion, it gives us the answer to all of such things. So missing Krishna means missing oneself also, right? Self-realization means Krishna realization also, hand in hand. Why is it? Prabhupada gives us sunshine analogy. When you get up in the morning, there is sunshine. When there is sunshine, you also realize there is sun, right? When sunshine is there, you also realize that the source of sunshine is also present, that is sun. So when you realize yourself, that self-realization, you must also realize that the source of you, that is Lord Krishna, is also present. We are part and parcel of Lord Krishna, and many of them, they miss this part, that they know self-realization, I am Atma, but then they don't know who is Paramatma, right? That missing point is Krishna. So this is Mangalacharan content and definition of pure devotional service. So here, 1 second. Yes, I'll just share 1 second. Yes, Mangalacharan, that is Akila Rasamrita Murti. Krishna is said as Akila Rasamrita Murti, possesses form of supreme bliss, Amrita Murti. Right? He is Ananda, Sachit Ananda. Bhagavan, teacher of the Lord, is Ananda because he gives pleasure to his devotees. He is supreme attractive. Since he is the reservoir of all rasas, all relationship contains all 12 rasas. He is called Akila Rasamrita. There are different other rasas also. So because he contains all these rasas, because of that, he is called Akila Rasamrita. Purusham, Purnam, Adi Purusham, Satyam, Param. So these all words are used in other Vedic literatures or in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam mainly. Because of that, Krishna is called Akila Rasamrita. So many of the rasas that Vishnu cannot perform, that any other form of Lord Krishna or avatars of Lord Krishna cannot perform, the avatari, the Lord Krishna himself performs. Because of that, he is called Akila Rasamrita Murti. He is a Murti, he is person there. And we cannot just perform some kind of rasa with light or rays or something. There should be a person. That eternal person is Lord Shri Krishna. Obeisances unto devotees and acharyas who are like sharks, Bhakta Makara, in the ocean of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So I said the Bhakti Rasamrita is like an ocean, Sindhu. And in that Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, in that ocean of pure devotional love to Krishna, there are devotees and acharyas who are like sharks. Dive deep. Those who go deep remain undisturbed. So sharks and big fishes, they dive deep inside the oceans and nobody can disturb them because so-called near liberations are like on the top of like a river. they merge into the devotional service. So here the liberation is also the mukti, so-called mukti, is also rejected by the pure devotees. Why? They are continuously deep inside devotional service, and liberation is like just a river. It flows inside devotional service, but then it's not ultimate for devotees. The impersonalists are dwelling in the river water like a fishes. They are small fishes, impersonalists. They just want mukti from janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi, just that much. They don't want to serve Lord Krishna. They don't want to service, which eventually comes to mix with the ocean, which eventually they fail in that, they again fall to material modes, but then the reverse, the liberation service. Mukti lata Mukunda itself gives mukti, but then devotees, they don't want mukti, they want mama janmani ishwari bahudar bhaktir ahaitu kitvai. They want devotional service without any motives. So in Janmani Janmanishwari, again and again they want to take birth just to do devotional service. They reject liberation. They reject Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. They are already liberated from Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, but still they want to take birth just to love Krishna, just to preach about Krishna, just to do devotional service. And the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavana are best example for this. So first, the shloka of Nectar of Devotion, which definition of pure devotional service uses Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavrutam anukulena krishnanu shrilanam bhaktir uttama. So bhaktir uttama, the topmost devotional service, how is it? Anyabhilashita shunya. The first class devotional service, or the topmost devotional service, is Anyabhilashita Shunya. One's tendency to fully engage in Krishna's service, serving the Lord favorably. Anyabhilashita Shunya, Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. Anukulena Krishna, serving Krishna in full devotional service, Shrilanam Bhakti Ruttama. By rejecting all other kind of Jnana Karmadi Anavritam, rejecting all kinds of just mere jnana and karma, right? Jnana yoga, karma yoga. But then Krishna says even in Bhagavad Gita that bhakti yoga, yoginam vi sarvesham adgatirantaratmana, right? Topmost yogi is bhakti yogi. So here jnana karmadi anavritam anukulena Krishna. Anukulena Krishna means you're doing service, you're doing activities which is favorable in Krishna consciousness. Although you may not like it, but Krishna likes it, then do. Like get up early in the Mangalarti, you may not like it. Who wants to get up in the morning? But then I want to see Krishna in the morning Mangalarti. I want to see Krishna, or Acharya has instructed us to see Mangalarti, attend Mangalarti. Srila Prabhupada has instructed to attend Mangalarti. Many of the senior devotees, they instruct us to attend Mangalarti. Because of that, although it may be very troublesome for me, but still I'm doing, because they are instructing us. It's favorable to me in Krishna consciousness. Because of that, I'm doing it. That is a determination of a devotee, that anukulena Krishna, what is favorable in Krishna consciousness, he accepts. So primary Swarupa Lakshana Krishna Anushilanam. Krishna Anushilanam, that's the cultivation for Krishna's pleasure following Acharyas. Anukulena, that's favorable. Anushilanam, that's your following Acharyas. So next is Tatastha Shakti. This is Swarupa Shakti and this Tatastha Swarupa Lakshana and Tatastha Lakshana. Tatastha Lakshana is like Anyabhilashta Shunyam. That's free from ulterior motive, without any motive. Jnana Karmadi Anavritam, uncovered by Jnana and Karma. Cultivation means activity, right? Your cultivation, what does it cult mean? You're doing somewhat activity there. Consciousness alone cannot help us. Activities, pravritti and nivritti. accepting favorable and rejecting unfavorable. So Pravriti and Nivritti means accepting what is favorable in Krishna consciousness and rejecting what is unfavorable in Krishna consciousness. Intoxication and so many things, watching TV is not, or getting addicted to something is not favorable, then reject it. Although I may like it, although I may materially like it very much, I used to do for from childhood, I used to like it, but then now Krishna says don't do it, Acharya says don't do it, then I won't do it. That is rejecting unfavorable, because it's unfavorable in the path of Krishna consciousness. I am completely rejecting it. So thinking, feeling, willing, and mind, that's senses. And how from thinking the feeling comes, and feeling to willing, how mind and senses act in this. And devotional service is under internal energy, the Yogamaya Shakti. So that's for highly high people in devotees in devotional service. Any desire other than to please Lord is material desire. So desireness, anya abhilashita, that's anya abhilashita. Any desire which is not in Krishna consciousness or which is not in contact with Krishna is material desire. So here we should be very careful what we desire, because just one desire that may be a reason for you to rebirth in this material world. One small desire that you get to enjoy self gratification, that may take you again to this material world with all miserable conditions. So chapter 1 we'll do in the next class. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One announcement before you all leave. First of all, attendance form is there. Please go and fill it. Second is Jagannath Puri Yatra. So whoever are very fortunate and they want to come to Jagannath Puri, and some of them are already in Puri. I know some of them are already in Odisha. They can easily go to Jagannath Puri. They can volunteer in service. And who want to go to Jagannath Puri, already booking has started. It's from the dates are from 10th to 1 second. I'll try to share if I can. Or the poster is already posted in the group, na? Yeah, 10th you will be arriving in Jagannath Puri, and on 14th you can leave. So Yatra will be from 11th October to 13th October. So plan your days and book very fast, because booking of your trains or flights or buses very important, because it's already near the month, and prices daily it's going high, day by day it's going very high. So plan your booking, plan fast as you can, because train and flight tickets are going high day by day. So start planning now itself. And from 11th to 13th is the Yatra days. 10th you will be arriving there in Jagannath Puri, and all kinds of taking you from the stations or airports to the your lodges will be done by temple devotees itself. And other inside Puri, whatever prasadam, whatever accommodation, traveling inside Puri is already taken care in the amount that you pay. But traveling from your home to Jagannath Puri is your way. But after reaching Jagannath Puri for 3 days, entire thing will be taken care by the devotees. So plan your days and you can start booking for your tickets already. So how many of you have already booked for Jagannath Puri? Many of them are already booked. You can raise your hands. Yes. They have already booked. Some of them have already booked who have come for Mangalore Yatra and so many other. Yes, Dinesh Prabhu, you wanted to ask something? You can unmute.
Yes, Mataji. In fact, what can make us happy or give us peace is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 71. Vihaya kamanya sarv